At 92 years old, I still get behind the wheel, run errands, and live independently without a single hospital visit in over 30 years. Sounds unbelievable? I get that a lot. But the truth is, it's not magic or luck. It's 5 daily habits that quietly transform my health, energy, and longevity. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on exactly what I do every single day to stay sharp, mobile, and illness-free. And trust me, habit number 3 is the one nobody talks about, but it might just change your life. Stay with me, because this could rewrite everything you thought about aging. They say the way you start your morning sets the tone for your entire day. But for me, it did more than that. It saved my life. When I turned 60, I was tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, but a heaviness in the bones, a fog in the mind, a sense that something in me was slowly giving up. That's when I made a decision that changed everything. I stopped letting my mornings slip away and started treating them as sacred. Every morning now, before the sun fully rises, I sit in stillness with a warm cup of lemon water. Just hot water, fresh lemon, and a pinch of sea salt. It may sound simple, but to me, it's more than a drink. It's a quiet moment of connection, of restoration. That first sip wakes up my digestion, gently flushes out yesterday's toxins, and gives my organs a signal. We're starting fresh. After that, I don't reach for a phone. I don't turn on the news. I move. Just a few minutes, 10, maybe 15, of slow stretches, shoulder rolls, knee circles, deep inhales, and even deeper exhales. My joints crack. My spine unlocks. My breath becomes fuller. It's not exercise. It's a conversation with my body. And when you're 92, trust me, every part of you has something to say if you're why. But here's what made the biggest difference to me. The ritual of greeting the sun. I walk out to my little porch or garden and let the early light hit my skin. No sunglasses, no distractions, just me and the quiet warmth of a new day. That light doesn't just feel good. It tells my brain to wake up, resets my inner clock, and boosts my serotonin. I didn't learn this from a doctor. I learned it from experience. Back when I used to wake up anxious, foggy, and unsure how to face the day, the sun taught me how to feel alive, Aga. After that, I do something strange, something people half my age find silly. I talk to myself in the mirror, not with shame or sarcasm, but with intention. I look into my eyes and say one sentence every single day. I am strong. I am clear. I am still here. It started as a joke, but over time, it became my shield. On days when the world felt too loud, when my joints ached, or when the news made me feel like giving up, that tiny sentence reminded me, I am still here, and that means something. You might be thinking, can a morning routine really do all that? And my answer is simple. Yes, not because it's fancy or expensive or based on some new wellness trend, but because it's consistent, because it gave my body, my heart, and my mind the same message every morning for 30 years. You matter. You're alive. Keep going. This habit didn't just help me avoid illness. It gave me resilience. When friends my age were visiting doctors every month, I was outside trimming the hedges. When the flu made its rounds, I felt a breeze but stayed standing. It all began here, with a warm cup, a stretch, a sunrise, and a sentence. That's the power of starting your day like your life depends on it. Because it does. If there's one habit that's kept my body strong and my immune system nearly unshakable through the decades, it's how I eat, and more importantly, what I eat. You see, back when I was in my 60s, most of my friends were already on a cocktail of medications. One for blood pressure, one for cholesterol, one for joint pain, and another to manage the side effect of the first 3. I watched them eat out of convenience. Microwave meals, pastries with coffee for breakfast, heavy dinners late at night. It didn't sit right with me. Deep down, I knew that food had to be more than just fuel. It had to be medicine. So I changed everything one meal at a time. I began by removing the one thing that was silently stealing my energy, sugar. It wasn't easy at first. Sugar had comforted me in moments of stress, rewarded me at celebrations, and crept into even the most innocent-looking sauces and breads. But the truth was undeniable. Every time I cut back, I slept better, my joint hurt less, and my mood lifted. So I replaced sugar with color, literally. I made it my mission to eat the colors of the rainbow every single day. Red peppers, blueberries, dark leafy greens, orange carrots, yellow squash, purple cabbage. Every color brought a different gift. Antioxidants, fiber, minerals, life. I wasn't chasing perfection, just diversity. I made sure that every plate I ate was 80% plants and 20% protein. And that protein wasn't always meat. Lentils, beans, and even tofu made their way onto my plate. And with them came better digestion, steadier energy, and sharper thinking. Fermented foods became my secret weapon. A spoonful of kimchi, a sip of kefir, or a bite of yogurt with flaxseed. These small additions revived my gut, and I haven't had stomach issues or food sensitivities in decades. But it wasn't just about what I ate. It was how. I stopped eating in a rush. I started blessing my meals, not in a religious way, but in a grateful one. I took 3 deep breaths before the first bite and chewed like it mattered, because it does. I realized that eating is one of the most intimate ways we connect with life, and that every bite is either building me or breaking me. I also made one promise to myself. No eating after 6:30 p.m. That one decision changed my sleep, my digestion, and even my weight. It wasn't about rules. It was about rhythm. I wanted to give my body time to rest, not spend the whole night digesting. Over time, these food habits became part of me. I don't count calories. I don't follow fads. I simply listen to my body and respect it with every bite. And now, at 92, while others wonder how I still drive, still move with ease, and still avoid the pharmacy line, I smile and think back to all those simple meals, eaten slowly, made with love, and filled with life. Because what you eat every day becomes who you are, and I chose to become well. Most people think staying physically strong at 92 requires going to the gym, lifting weights, or doing something intense. But I've never had a gym membership in my life. And yet I still walk with ease, stand tall, and drive myself wherever I need to go. The truth? It all comes down to one quiet, powerful rule I created for myself decades ago. Never let an hour go by without moving. It might sound small, but this one habit has saved me from the slow stiffness that creeps in with age. I remember when I was 63, sitting for long periods started to feel different. My knees would tighten, my hips would complain, and getting up from a chair felt like lifting bricks. One day, I asked myself a hard question. What if this is just the beginning of losing my independence? That thought shook me. So instead of waiting for a doctor to prescribe therapy, I prescribed myself a new life rule. Every hour that I'm awake, I must move, even just for 2 or 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be fancy. I'll do gentle squats while waiting for the kettle to boil, stretch my arms while brushing my teeth, take a short walk around the house or down the driveway after a phone call. I even turned household chores into a kind of movement therapy. Vacuuming became my cardio, hanging laundry became my shoulder mobility session, and sweeping became my standing balance drill. But perhaps the most healing movement of all has been walking barefoot in my garden, feeling the earth beneath my feet, even for a few minutes a day. Change how my legs feel. My ankles feel more stable, my toes grip with purpose, and my calves stay alive with circulation. It's not just physical, it's emotional too. Walking outdoors, even slowly, even if it's just a few laps around my small yard, resets my nervous system. I notice the breeze, the birds, the flowers, and somehow the tension I didn't know I was holding melts away. Over the years, I learned to respect my body not through punishment, but through attention. I don't push it to exhaustion. I check in with it like a dear friend. And on days when the weather doesn't allow for outside movement, I still stretch inside, still take deep breaths, still roll my shoulders and wake up every joint with love. Because I've learned that stiffness is not a natural part of aging. It's a message from the body asking for movement. So I give it that movement every single hour. That's how I've kept my knees from locking up, my balance sharp, and my confidence strong. People see me walk across a parking lot at 92 and say, "You move better than people half your age." But it's not luck. It's consistency. It's the quiet discipline of choosing movement again and again, even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. That's the habit that has carried me farther than any treadmill ever could. If you ask me what truly kept me young, not just in body, but in spirit, I'd say without hesitation, my ability to clear my mind every single day. Most people focus on diet and movement when they talk about health, but they forget the biggest burden we carry isn't in our bodies. It's in our thoughts. And I carried a heavy mind for many years. Worries about family, money, regrets, the world spinning faster than I could understand. Those thoughts used to swirl in my head like a storm. I remember one night in my late 60s, I was lying in bed staring at the ceiling, my heart racing over something small that had happened earlier that day. That's when it hit me. I wasn't sleeping because I hadn't learned how to let go. So I began a new practice, one that I still follow every night without fail. I take 5 minutes before bed, open my little notebook, and write down 3 sentences. One thing I'm grateful for, one thing I learned that day, and one thing I choose to release. That's it. But those 3 lines have been my mental detox for over 30 years. When I write down what I'm grateful for, even something as simple as the taste of fresh mint in my tea, it shifts my focus from what's wrong to what's right. When I note what I've learned, whether it's a lesson from conversation or a moment of self-awareness, I remind myself that I'm still growing. And when I write down what I'm letting go of, it's like exhaling the heaviness I didn't realize I was holding. Sometimes it's a worry about someone I love. Sometimes it's a mistake I made. Sometimes it's just the chaos of the world outside. But every time I name it, I feel lighter. I also take worry walks during the week. No phone, no agenda, just me walking slowly, allowing my thoughts to rise and drift. I've cried on those walks. I've laughed too. But most of all, I've released. I've stopped bottling everything up inside. Over time, this habit of mind cleaning became as essential as brushing my teeth, because I learned that the brain holds on to everything until you teach it how to let go. And if you don't, that mental clutter turns into tension, into insomnia, into sickness. I believe many seniors suffer not because of their age, but because of unprocessed emotion, decades of holding it all together without ever letting it out. That's why I protect my peace like I protect my health. I've even created boundaries like no stressful conversations after 9 p.m. and no TV news first thing in the morning. My mind is my sanctuary, and I've trained it to return to calm. That's how I sleep well. That's how I stay hopeful. That's how I've survived the storms life has thrown my way, not with strength alone, but with softness, and with a mind that knows when to hold on and when to let go. If there's one habit I guard more fiercely than anything else, it's my sleep, because at 92, I can say with absolute certainty, sleep is not a luxury, it's survival. I don't say that lightly. Over the years, I've seen so many of my peers slowly unravel not because of disease itself, but because they were running on empty for far too long. Sleep, for me, is not just about resting my body. It's about repairing everything that's been silently breaking down during the day. That's why I've created what I call my sleep fortress. And I protect it like it's sacred. I start winding down at 8 p.m., no exceptions. No heavy meals, no arguments, no phones, no blue lights. My home transforms into a quiet cocoon of calm. I dim the lights, light a small lavender candle, and make myself a warm drink, usually chamomile tea with a touch of honey or a bit of almond milk with turmeric and cinnamon. The scent, the warmth, the stillness, it all signals my nervous system. You're safe now. Let go. I don't watch television in bed. I don't even bring my phone into the bedroom. My bedroom is cool, dark, and quiet. No blinking lights, no clutter, no noise. I've even gone as far as taping over the tiny lights on my smoke detector, because I want absolute darkness. That one change alone helped me fall asleep faster than I had in years. But what truly changed the game for me was learning to respect the rhythm of my own body. I don't force myself to stay awake for anyone, not visitors, not phone calls, not even late-night events. I learned to say, I'm off to bed now, without guilt. That simple boundary gave me better rest, better moods, and a better immune system. And on nights when sleep doesn't come easily, because even at 92, life can still stir the mind, I don't panic. I lay still, focus on my breathing, and trust that even quiet rest is healing. I say to myself, my body knows how to heal. My only job is to allow it. And over time, it always does. People ask me how I've stayed so sharp, so mobile, so full of energy at this age, and my answer, more often than not, comes back to this. I never sacrificed my sleep. I never treated it as optional. I made it the foundation of everything. When you sleep well, your food digests better, your mind resets, your joints recover, and your spirit softens. It's during sleep that the body repairs, the heart settles, and the brain washes away the clutter of yesterday. So if there's one thing I would tell anyone over 60, one thing that has quietly extended the quality of my life, it's this: guard your sleep like it's your last medicine. Because in the end, sleep isn't just rest, it's rebirth. And every morning that I wake up with clarity, strength, and peace, I thank my sleep. It has carried me through 30 illness-free years, and I believe it's still one of the greatest gifts I give myself every single night. If you've made it this far, thank you from the bottom of my heart. These 5 daily habits may seem simple on the surface, but they've carried me through 3 decades of strength, clarity, and independence. I'm 92 and still driving not because I'm extraordinary, but because I chose to honor my body, my mind, and my time every single day. And if I can do it, so can you. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean wisdom, energy, and freedom if we choose the right path. If this video inspired you, gave you hope, or even just made you pause and reflect, I invite you to support this channel by hitting that like button, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you never miss a new tip, story, or a habit that could change your life. Share this video with someone you love, especially someone who's feeling a little lost in the aging process. Together, we're building a powerful community focused on senior wellness, not with gimmicks or hype, but with real stories, real habits, and real results. Your support means the world to me. Let's keep growing, keep thriving, and keep proving that age is not the end. It's just the beginning.